I can tell you that Sam Harris has always, I have not heard anything from Sam Harris in maybe months or, a long time. But I can tell you, having listened to Sam Harris in the aughts and in listening to Sam Harris in the early and mid-teens, I can tell you what I would think that he is saying right now, and I don't need to even know any of that, which is Israel has a right to annihilate all the Palestinians. Mm-hmm. The guy is an Islamophobe from way back. Way back. He's one of the OGs. I think he just got a little bit embarrassed when he realized, like, how is it I've created such an incredible following that loves Donald Trump?
Yes.
Surprise, surprise.
And then he said that, Biden won the election and now he is in no man's land in terms of who he's appealing to. Going
back to Islamophobia, always and Bill Maher, and I should say that while Sam Harris was going around, I don't want to say posing as a new atheist, but presenting as a new atheist. And I got nothing wrong with atheists. I don't, teach their own. But while he's going around saying religion is bad, theoretically, his primary place of going on speaking tour was literally the brotherhood organizations of synagogues around the country. Because it turns out, believing religion is bad. He thought believing in some religions were bad. And let's be clear. What is going on in Israel in terms of their attacks on Palestinians, civilians? And I know that Joe Biden doesn't believe the numbers, but apparently Channel 14 in Israel, or what is it? This is some television channel in Israel. They believe the numbers. They pop it up here. Israel wins special coverage. This is, I don't know, from a couple of days ago when they talk about killing 7,546 terrorists. Population wounded 18,000 almost. They put structures attacked over 12,000. They just referred to all Palestinians as terrorists, but at least they acknowledge the numbers of dead, at least at that point, was well into the 7,000s. So, but when you talk about Sam Harris and his blaming of Islam as being the world's, what is it, the single worst idea in the world.
Bad ideas, yeah. Give me a break.
This is largely about religious fundamentalism, or at the very least, the religious fundamentalists in Israel have pushed the government so far to the right. The ethno-nationalist fascists, who are a little bit more secular, also are responsible. But without a doubt, it's the religious fundamentalism that has pushed Israel into, even worse territory than it's been in the past. I think there's an argument to be made that Zionism in and of itself, if not necessarily leads to this point, certainly rides a knife edge, if you will, that can be tipped into this point rather easily by these type of influences. But if you want to see, where the Israeli government, how they send this message out to those fundamentalists, here's Netanyahu at a news conference in Tel Aviv. And he makes reference to the Bible. Now, of course, like I say, it's a religious country and a lot of religious fundamentalists there. But you see, what he references is really important.
And you see how the fascists of his ilk, right, are working hand in hand, or at least their aims here are walking alongside those of the religious fundamentalists that you describe.
Yeah, here he goes. He's Go ahead.
You must remember what Amalek has done to you, says our Holy Bible. And we do remember, and we are fighting. Our brave troops and combatants who are now in Gaza or around Gaza and in all other regions in Israel are joining this chain of Jewish heroes, a chain that has started 3,000 years ago from Joshua ben Nun until the heroes of 1948, the Six-Day War, the 73 October War, and all other wars in this country. Our hero troops, they have one supreme main goal: to completely defeat the murderous enemy and to guarantee our existence in this country. We've always said, never again. Never again is now.
Never again, except, it only means never again for us.
Well, the point about that, him dropping that Amalek as a quote, Amalek, we should say, is Amalek was the sort of, I guess, the in the Bible was a staunch enemy of the Israelites.
1 Samuel 15:3, if people want to look it up.
And what 1 Samuel 15:3 calls for is, now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. In other words, annihilate everything. So when he drops this in, you must remember what Amalek has done to you, says our Holy Bible. He's not just saying, he is saying that our mission is to go. Now, maybe it isn't. You don't want to wait and find out after the fact. And it's certainly, the behavior up to this point is consistent with that. But what he is saying to a huge portion of his government that keeps him in power, explicitly, and they all know, they don't have to look up what Amalek means. They all know exactly what it means. It means that our response is going to be to kill everything and everyone: man, woman, infant, suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass.
Genocidal language by every measure, And as I mentioned earlier, 800 international lawyers, including genocide scholars, signed a letter last week warning of crimes of genocide in Gaza. That is what we are seeing at this point. So I'm sick of seeing Israel-Hamas war, back and forth, Israel-Hamas war. That's not what we're dealing with. And when, Hamas, the central claim about why Hamas is not a group that should be supported, certainly, and the terroristic acts that they committed should be universally condemned, is that Hamas calls for the eradication of Jews. That's exactly what Netanyahu is saying about Gaza. And to add to the complete insanity of that is that Israel actually has the means to do that, because of the advanced weaponry that they have, because Gaza has been under blockade for 18 years at this point, because Israel controls their land and sea borders, because they have the ability to cut off internet access, electricity, fuel, water, babies drinking brackish water right now in Gaza. Because they have the ability to do all of this, they have complete control over Gaza. That is the ability to put systems of of eradication into place, and it's already happening in these weeks that we've seen this. We've been witnessing this horror show. So, I'm just sick of this fallback into among many people in the press, honestly, that Israel is this secular-minded democracy in the Middle East, and that it's the savages on the other side, motivated by religious fundamentalism and bigotry. He just referred to all Palestinians as the Amalek. What are we doing here? And proving it through action.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.